channel, guys. Today we got the 98 Silverado. Gotta do shocks on it, blew those out. Who knows when, actually. There was some leaking from it and I didn't really care too much about it. And then finally one day it was pretty bad, so underneath there was pretty bad. I'll show you that. The whole shock's just covered in fluid. So we got one-row gas-matic shocks. Should be mag, so not too bad. So here are the new ones. So like this one already had the tie cut off of it a little bit, so it's already starting to decompress. But see, you can just, they're a little bit hard, but once they get moving, they just kind of go back in kind of easy. So we gotta throw these on the truck. Normally what you do when they're compressed with that tie, you put one end in, you cut it, and then when the other one starts to slide into place, you hook up the other end. But we'll show you how to do that. So that's today for after work, so let's get to it. So to show you guys what's actually going on with the shock. Whoa, go underneath here. How it's all blackish looking underneath of that one. That's usually not good because that's usually what's covered in fluid. Yep, so we're gonna get working on that. Usually it's not too hard to do, so I'll start showing you guys how to do that. I'll get the tools together. That's the worst part, finding the tools that fit it. I believe 19s or 20s. But I'll let you guys know. Alright guys, so it's actually a 21 for down here, both sides. And I don't have any impact, like sockets big enough or ratchets big enough here. So I'm just using a 21 wrench and then a 25 followed by it. And to get enough leverage, all you do, take this end, put it in any way you want, kind of. Then you're gonna find a place where it actually makes leverage on your own, and it won't actually move too much. You can do this either way, top or bottom, to tighten or loosen. Just make sure you know which way you're going when you're looking at stuff backwards. And then after we pop this one free, we got two, look, I believe 15 or 14s up there. I'll confirm that when we get to that part. I grabbed a pipe wrench. It's all I had around, and it actually works out pretty good because it actually rests on the ground for me, so I can just push against this a little bit while I'm working on this. That's twerking. That's not good. Torquing. So when I move this up, it's going to pull up a little bit. All I gotta do is hold this down, and then move that with my hand, and it's going to go free. Just like that, I got it out. You got the bolt washed on the other side, and then the nut that goes to. It's still stuck in there a bit. I'm going to leave it stuck like that just for a little bit more, just because it makes it easier for it to get out of the way when I can get up here. This is what I'm talking about. This one is actually just covered in, like, it's like the slimy, nasty feeling, where this one over here, if you guys can see it right there, is actually still pretty dry. So we're going to throw, doing ones on both sides just to be safe. But I think part of the problem is my actual exhaust hits this. So I gotta figure out how to remount this, because I had my actual duals put in by Mustang. So I gotta remount this because it's just not good. Probably have to end up sliding the mount over or bending the pipe a little bit more so it clears everything. But I'm sure that probably was cause of the premature failure of the one side, just because the shock just kind of got hot and kept rubbing against it the whole time. So, alright, I'll start working on the top ones. Alright guys, I got it undone up top now. It's actually a 13mm bolt, but once it unbolts, you'll be able to notice it kind of cockeyes back and forth. No problem. And down here, it's probably should say, and there's a little bit of a seal right there. So then all you gotta do is kind of hammer it out a little bit. So I'll see if I can get you guys a view of what I'm doing. Yeah, I guess that'll work. But just take something kind of heavy. And there's one. I'm gonna do the other side without really showing you guys, just because it's the same exact process. Should go by a little bit quicker because you want the spare tire in the way, because it's on the other side of the axle. I need to actually fix this exhaust though, because this exhaust, it was rubbing the shock right there where the shiny stuff is, and it actually put a hole in the shock, which is why it was leaking, and the hole is right there. And there's, let's see if you can see it, that shiny stuff, there's a hole right in there. So this should actually extend all the way with no problem, and because there's nothing in it anymore, move that out of your way, it just doesn't want to move like it should. So that's my problem. Alright, I'll do the other side real quick. I might do a time lapse to show you guys. Alright, so another thing I'm going to do real quick, just to be safe and make things a little bit easier for me. These bolts I took out were kind of a pain. Their original shocks are in there. I'm assuming, I've never changed them. I believe the guy before didn't either. But all the rust that's kind of stuck onto them made it a little bit hard to twist out. So all I'm going to do is clean up with a wire brush, and that should be able to help it out a lot. So initial review after putting in the shocks, not much different. I didn't think it would be. It's heavy duty leaf springs in the back, so pretty much all your ride quality is ruined from those. Tow good, but just the comfort isn't there. So maybe maybe a little bit more driving, it might stiffen up the back end a little bit. The shock that was there still had a little bit to it, but I mean, it was pretty well gone. So that'll be it for today's video. Next one, I'm probably gonna fix the squeaking noise from the belts and stuff when I had my alternator pop on me, or not alternator, my water pump kept popping the hoses off and it kept throwing fluid everywhere, so it locked up the tensioner a little bit, so I think I can free that up, and then probably need a new serpentine belt, but we'll see. So thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't, it really helps me out, and then leave a comment if you guys have any comments or concerns. Alright, thank you. Like, you can tell who's been in the car more than the other one. Ain't that right, Kona? Kona? Yeah, yeah. Just sit down. No, just gonna stand the whole time? Alright.